My best man proposed to my maid of honor at my wedding, so I pretended to forgive him and waited a year to announce our pregnancy at theirs. I was about to get married myself when my best friend decided to end his best man speech by proposing to his maid of honor. He pulled out an engagement ring and she walked up on stage squealing, "Yes," and they kissed passionately. But when they stopped and looked around, to their surprise, no one was clapping for them. Instead, everyone started booing. My dad, being tipsy, walked up and threw an open bottle of beer at them, soaking his suit and her dress, which by the way was undyed. This inspired several other people to do the same, leaving the best man and maid of honor completely drenched in beer and wine. Her makeup ran and she literally ran away. The best man followed her, and in a final gesture of paternal control, my dad tripped, causing the best man to trip and fall face first onto the floor. He got up again and stormed off, and although they were gone, the wedding was ruined. In the heat of the moment, I stood up and ran out, and when I saw the best man and the maid of honor, I didn't hold back. They were both still dripping wet, standing awkwardly as if unsure of what to do next. The best man turned around when he saw me coming, his eyes wide with a mixture of guilt and disbelief. The maid of honor stood behind him, her once immaculate dress stained with drinks and smeared makeup. Before I could say anything, he raised his hands. "Dude, this isn't fair," he blurted out, his voice shaking but defensive. "We didn't deserve this. I mean, we were just trying to do something special." I stopped in front of them, stunned by his words. He wasn't apologizing. He was playing the victim. "You didn't deserve this? You hijacked my wedding, and now you're upset because people were mad about it." He shook his head, disappointment clear on his face. No, you don't understand. This was all supposed to go wrong. We didn't want to screw anything up. I thought people would be happy for us. I thought you'd be happy for me." I stared at him, barely able to believe what I was hearing. "Happy for you? This was supposed to be about me and my wife, our lives, not you." "But why can't it be both?" he countered, raising his voice. "Why can't we share this moment? You're my best friend, man. I thought you, more than anyone, would understand. This isn't just some random day for me either. I've been waiting for the right time to propose, and this felt perfect. She's the love of my life, just like your wife is for you." He sounded desperate, like he genuinely couldn't understand why things had gone wrong. Behind him, the bridesmaid began to sob, wiping tears from her face. She didn't say anything, but her eyes were fixed on the ground like she was hoping to disappear. I took a deep breath, trying to hold back the wave of anger. "You thought this was the right moment? At my wedding? You couldn't have waited another day? Not even until the end of the reception?" The best man groaned, running a hand through his wet hair. "You're making a mountain out of a molehill. It was one little moment, and now everyone hates us. We're getting doused with beer and wine like we're the villains. I thought we were family. I didn't expect this from you." I clenched my fists, disbelief washing over me again. "You can't act like a victim. You made everything about yourself, and now you wonder why people are upset." He sighed, his shoulders slumping. I didn't think it would matter. I didn't think it would overshadow anything. I swear I didn't mean to ruin your day. I just wanted to make a memory, too." I glared at him, my patience wearing thin. He still wasn't really at fault. He was just upset that things hadn't gone the way he'd imagined. He took a step back, looking at the ground. "Look, I get that you're angry. I didn't plan for things to blow up like this, but I'm begging you, don't throw our friendship away over this. We've been through too much. I can't lose you over one mistake." I paused and looked at him for a long moment. He was still trying to act hurt, as if his selfishness wasn't the issue. "Maybe we shouldn't hang out for a while," I finally said. "If you really think it was no big deal, then I don't know what else to say." He nodded slowly, his face a mixture of regret and disappointment. "Okay, if that's how you want it." Without a word, I turned and walked back, leaving them standing there. They had wanted to make a memory, and now they had made one no one would forget. The text messages started pouring in immediately. After the wedding, I sat with my wife in the living room, surrounded by the remnants of what should have been our perfect day. My phone was constantly vibrating, and every time I looked at it, I saw his name. My best man. The messages were incessant. "I'm so sorry. Please talk to me. I never meant for any of this to happen. Please don't hate me." I put the phone down with a heavy sigh. My wife, still in her wedding dress, looked at me with tired eyes. Her makeup was smudged from tears and her hair was a mess. "He's texting you?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Yes," I said, rubbing my eyes. "He's been sending texts after texts apologizing." She shook her head in disappointment. "Of course he does. He ruined our wedding and now he's trying to play the victim." I didn't have the energy to argue, so I just nodded. The events of the night were flashing through my mind. My wedding day had been ruined by his ill-timed proposal, and now he was making it all over again with his constant apologies. The messages didn't stop. They kept coming. Texts, calls, even emails, each one a new plea for forgiveness. He claimed that he didn't mean for things to go wrong, that he thought it would be a special moment for everyone, and that he was sorry. It was as if he couldn't understand why people were angry or why his actions were so hurtful. As the week wore on, my patience was wearing thin. My wife had already decided that she wanted nothing to do with the bridesmaid. They had been best friends for years, but after what happened, my wife had cut off all communication. She was over her, but she made it clear that if I wanted to maintain my friendship with the best man, it would be on me. "I'm over her," she said firmly, "but I won't stop you from being friends with him if you want to." I felt confused. I missed my best friend, but the way he had ruined our wedding made it difficult to forgive. Despite my mixed feelings, I agreed to meet him for coffee. Maybe talking in person would help clarify the situation or give me some peace. On the day of the meeting, I arrived early and waited in a small cafe. When he walked in, he looked like a mess. His clothes were wrinkled and his hair was tousled. He was wet from the rain, his face was red and tired. He sat down opposite me, avoiding my eyes, and stared at his cup of coffee. He began to talk as soon as he sat down. He went on at length about how he didn't want the wedding to be ruined. He said he thought it would be a great moment for everyone and that he was truly sorry. He mentioned that he was overwhelmed with his feelings and that he had always wanted to propose to his bridesmaid at a special event, and it felt right at that moment. As he spoke, I felt a mixture of anger and pity. He was still trying to justify his actions and pretend that he was the one who was hurt. I listened, nodding occasionally, but inside I was thinking about how he had completely overshadowed the most important day of my life. "I didn't expect things to blow up like that," he said, his voice breaking. "I thought people would be happy for us. I didn't mean to take away your day. Please don't let this ruin our friendship." I tried to remain calm, but it was difficult. It seemed like he still wasn't taking full responsibility for what had happened. I told him I would think about it, but deep down I knew our friendship had changed. I pretended to accept his apology, but I was already planning my next move. For a long time, we didn't talk much and we didn't see each other. We met a couple times over the course of a year, but even then we had little to talk about. Not a single meeting went by without us arguing about the wedding. And with each meeting, I realized we were no longer friends. About a year later, my wife and I's lives took an unexpected turn. We found out we were expecting our first child. We had always wanted a family, and this news was a silver lining after everything that had happened. We decided to keep the pregnancy a secret until the right time. One day, I received an invitation in the mail. It was from the former best man and bridesmaid. They were getting married. I was surprised they had sent an invitation at all. After all, my wife and I had discussed it at length. "I don't want to go," she said, "but if you feel like it, I'll support you and go too." I thought about it. Part of me wanted to ignore the invitation, but another part saw it as an opportunity. This could be a chance to get back at them in a way that felt justified. We decided we would go. It would be a way to overcome the pain, but also to make a statement. Their wedding day arrived, and the difference between their wedding and ours was striking. Their venue was smaller, and the guest list was noticeably shorter. It was clear that many people had turned their backs on them. It was a stark contrast to the grand celebration we had had. During the reception, I waited for the right moment. The room was uncomfortably quiet. People were polite but reserved. When the time came, I stood up, my wife by my side. "We have exciting news," I announced to the crowd. "We're expecting a baby." The room fell silent. A few guests applauded, but the mood was heavy. The best man and bridesmaid looked at us with shock and anger on their faces. The groom's face was red and his fists were clenched. He walked toward me as soon as I sat down, his eyes blazing with rage. "This was supposed to be our day," he said in a low, furious tone. I shrugged, trying to maintain my composure. You wanted to share the moment, remember? I thought we'd both have a chance to celebrate. He glared at me, but he couldn't argue. The damage was done, and the atmosphere of the wedding was forever changed. It was not the celebration they had hoped for. Over the years, there was little to no contact between us. One day, out of the blue, I received a text from him. The text was a desperate plea for help. I need a place to stay. She left me. Took everything. I have nowhere to go. Can I stay at your place? I stared at the text, feeling a mixture of emotions. I didn't want to be cruel, but I also felt like I'd done enough. I took a deep breath and texted back, I'm sorry, but I can't help you. I think it's best for us to keep our distance. I hit send and blocked his number. The past was behind us, and I wanted to keep it that way. The revenge I had planned had been accomplished, and it felt like justice had been served. The best man and maid of honor were no longer a part of my life, and I was ready to move on. After blocking his number, I hoped that would be the end of it. But a few days later, my phone rang from an unfamiliar number. Reluctantly, I answered, and to my surprise, it was him again. Please just hear me out one more time. I'm at rock bottom, and I have no one else. I know I screwed up, but this is really bad. I need your help. I sighed, trying to remain calm. What else do you want from me? I already told you I can't help. He kept insisting. I understand. Okay. I really do, but think about what we had. We were best friends. I know I made a mistake, but everyone else has turned their backs on me. I'm all alone, and there's no one else to turn to. I didn't answer right away. His desperation was almost overwhelming. He kept sending messages, each one more pleading than the last. Finally, he called again. When I answered, he was panicking. You don't understand, I'm broke, and she left me with nothing. I'm desperate. I know it was my fault, but I swear I've learned my lesson. Please don't do this to me. You're the only one who can help me now. I was about to hang up when he said something that crossed the line. I'm just asking for a chance. If you don't help me, I have nowhere to go. I'm even willing to forgive you for ruining my wedding, but only if you agree to help me. You owe me that. The words hit me like a fist. He was trying to get me to help him by bringing up the past and turning it against me. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That's it, I said, my voice cold. I'm done. I won't listen to your excuses or demands anymore. I ended the call and blocked the number forever. The last straw had been crossed, and I knew there was no turning back. The friendship was officially over, and I was done with the drama.